In today's video, we will discuss 10 weather events that changed history forever. But before we begin, click on the subscribe button for future updates. Also, click on the like button. Now let's start. Number 10. Hurricane Katrina. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall on the Gulf Coast of the United States. The impact of this Category 5 storm was catastrophic, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. Katrina is considered to be one of the most devastating natural disasters in U.S. history. In fact, its damage cost over $100 billion. With its massive economic impact, it is also ranked as the second costliest tropical cyclone globally, behind only the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. The city of New Orleans was particularly hard hit by the storm surge from Katrina, which caused extensive flooding. These images show the aftermath of the disaster, with flooded streets and residents stranded in their homes or seeking refuge in the Superdome. The disaster also had a profound impact on the social fabric of the city. Many residents were displaced and never returned. The rebuilding process was long and arduous, and the city still bears the scars of Katrina today. But the city is still standing, and this event is one of those that will go down in history. 9. Krakatoa eruption. The Krakatoa eruption was a massive volcanic explosion that occurred on August 27, 1883 in Indonesia. It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. Here are some facts about the Krakatoa eruption. The eruption was caused by the subduction of the Australian plate beneath the Eurasian plate. This created a massive amount of pressure, which eventually led to the explosion. Impact. The eruption had a devastating impact on the surrounding area. Pyroclastic flows. Lahores and tsunamis caused widespread destruction, and an estimated 36,000 people were killed. Global impact. The eruption had global implications as well. The ash cloud from the explosion blocked out the sun, causing temperatures to fall by as much as 2 degrees Celsius. It also created a tsunami that reached as far away as the east coast of Africa. Legacy? The eruption left a lasting legacy on the people of Indonesia. The island of Krakatau has been largely evacuated since the disaster, and the surrounding area is still heavily impacted by volcanic activity. The eruption is considered to be one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. 8. The Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl was a period of severe dust storms that occurred in the Great Plains of North America during the 1930s. The storms caused massive dust clouds that obscured the sun and blanketed entire states in dust. Here's what happened. Drought and high winds caused topsoil to become loose and susceptible to erosion. When a strong windstorm came through, it picked up the loose soil and created massive dust clouds. The dust storms caused significant damage to crops and property and forced many farmers to abandon their land and migrate to other parts of the country. The impact of the Dust Bowl was felt far beyond the Great Plains. The dust storms traveled across the United States and even reached as far away as Europe. The environmental and economic impacts of the Dust Bowl continue to be felt today, and it remains one of the most significant natural disasters in U.S. history. 7. The Great Mississippi Flood of 1927. The Great Mississippi Flood of 1927 was a devastating natural disaster that occurred along the Mississippi River in the United States. It was one of the worst floods in U.S. history and had a profound impact on the region. The flood was caused by record rainfall that led to the Mississippi River overflowing its banks. This caused massive flooding in the surrounding areas and forced thousands of people to evacuate their homes. The flood had a devastating impact on the economy of the region and led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of people. The floodwaters eventually receded, but the impact of the flood was felt for years to come. The recovery process was slow and difficult, and the region is still recovering from the flood today. 6. Cyclone Nargis. Cyclone Nargis was a devastating tropical cyclone that struck Myanmar in May 2008. The storm caused widespread destruction and loss of life, making it one of the deadliest natural disasters in recent history. The cyclone had sustained winds of up to 190 kilometers per hour and caused massive damage to buildings, infrastructure, and crops. The impact of the cyclone was particularly severe in the Irrawaddy Delta region, where an estimated 136,000 people were killed. The Myanmar government's response to the disaster was widely criticized as being slow and inadequate, which contributed to the high death toll. The international community provided aid and assistance in the aftermath of the cyclone. But the recovery process was slow, and the country is still recovering from the disaster today. No. 5. The Galveston Hurricane. The Galveston Hurricane, also known as the Great Storm, was a devastating tropical cyclone that struck the city of Galveston. On September 8, 1900, it is considered to be one of the worst natural disasters in U.S. history. The storm surge from the hurricane caused massive flooding, and an estimated 6,000 to 12,000 people were killed. The economic impact of the hurricane was also significant, with damage estimated at over $20 million in 1900. The recovery process was slow and difficult. And the city of Galveston is still recovering from the impact of the hurricane today? No. For the Lisbon earthquake. The Lisbon earthquake was a devastating natural disaster that struck the city of Lisbon, Portugal on November 1, 1755. It is considered to be one of the most powerful earthquakes in history. The earthquake had a magnitude of around 8.5 to 9.0 and caused widespread destruction throughout the city. An estimated 100,000 people were killed, and much of the city was destroyed. The earthquake had a profound impact on the cultural and intellectual life of Europe, and helped to usher in the Age of Enlightenment. The recovery process was slow and difficult, and Lisbon is still recovering from the impact of the earthquake today. No. 3. The 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami. The 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami was a series of devastating waves that struck the coastlines of 14 countries in the Indian Ocean on December 26, 2004. It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. The tsunami was caused by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake that occurred off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The earthquake triggered a massive undersea landslide, which generated a series of enormous waves that spread throughout the Indian Ocean. The waves had a height of up to 30 meters and caused widespread destruction and loss of life. An estimated 227,898 people were killed, and more than 140,000 people were injured. The economic impact of the tsunami was also staggering, with damage estimated at over $10 billion. The affected countries responded to the disaster with massive relief and reconstruction efforts, and the international community provided billions of dollars in aid and assistance. No. 2. The Bola Cyclone. The Bola Cyclone, also known as the East Pakistan Cyclone, was a devastating tropical cyclone that struck the region of East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, in November 1970. It is considered to be one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. The cyclone had sustained winds of up to 240 kilometers per hour and caused massive destruction and loss of life. An estimated 300,000 to 500,000 people were killed, and millions more were left homeless. The cyclone had a profound impact on the political and social landscape of the region and contributed to the independence of Bangladesh in 1971. The affected areas remain highly vulnerable to natural disasters, and the risk of future cyclones remains high. No. 1. The COVID-19 pandemic. While not a weather event in the traditional sense, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on the world. It has caused widespread illness, loss of life, and economic disruption on a global scale. The pandemic has also had a significant impact on mental health and well-being. However, it has also highlighted the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit as communities around the world have come together to support each other during difficult times. As we continue to navigate the challenges of the pandemic, it is important to remember the lessons we have learned and the sacrifices that have been made. We must also look to the future with hope and optimism as we work together to build a better world. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and share for more updates.